welcome. Now today we have an audio related video, and I love audio related videos, as you all know. Now I've been very kindly sent the SIDFX 3 by the creator himself, who also, by the way, helped Mike Zurman develop the FMEM. And also, if you wish to watch my videos on the FMEM, I actually had quite a lot of fun exploring it and exploring the demos. The link is in the description below, also the letter I in the top corner here. So this is the SIDFX 3 kit. Now some of you will know that I have done the dual SID mod on the Commodore 64, and I went through quite an adventure doing that. Again, videos linked in the description below. But this is basically a stereo SID or a stereo SID unit, which you put both the SID chips into, and it's kind of like my dual SID mod or my stereo SID mod, but on steroids, because this has got quite a lot of features and it's really well built and so forth. Let's get it out of this first. Now I was very happy to have Henrik Alexandersson send me one of these because this is something I discovered after I created my mod, and to be honest, I'm actually glad I did create my mod. It was a really nice experience, and it gives me more appreciation for things like this, for things like the SIDFX, and just how much effort has gone into it, especially one as something as advanced as this. Now attention, this comes with instructions. Now, just like my own SID mod, you can put a SID in each and have each SID playing through each channel, the stereo channel. So you'll have 6581 on the right and the 8580 on the left, let's say, for example. However, in this one you can also switch between different mods. Like, for example, you can have the 8580 running on both, like a normal mode, and you can have switch that off and switch it to the 6581, which will be played on both. So, or you can have it in stereo, which is I'm very interested in hearing. I'm gonna see what that's like. And yeah, so it's got quite a few mods you can select. It's actually got its own app, its own PRG file that's like, a configuration app. So I'm gonna be going through all that as well. So taking this off the sponge just to show you. So you can see here, this fits into your SID port, your SID chip socket. So let's start installing this in the Commodore 64. And this is my main Commodore 64, as you already know, that I have my SID mod here, my stereo SID mod. What I'm going to try and do is utilize these holes as much as I can with a new one. I'm sure there's quite a few you have to make anyway. So I want to use this on my main, the SIDFX on my main Commodore 64, and I do have a Commodore 64 spare, the Commodore 64C, which, yes, it's Frankensteined a bit, with the C keyboard, and also it has the C motherboard inside, but the bread bin case. I don't know, I just like this look. It's kind of cool. So I'm gonna have my mod in here, my dual stereo, but the SIDFX in here as the main one. So I do have a spare one, and it's a spare good one, and I can just use it whenever. So there's so much talk on this, the manual instructions and notices everywhere on electrostatic discharge. So I'm going to connect the ESC mat. Well, I've grounded it. It's actually connected to the mains earth. And one is going to be connected to my wrist, and the other to the ground plane of the Commodore 64. So let's clip that under there. And we're good to go. So here you can see my own dual SID mod. Yes, it's a bit scruffy here because I needed to find some insulation, but that's my own circuit build. What I'm gonna have to do with this is on my other C64C, I'm gonna have to adjust the circuitry so that it matches the power output of here, because as you know, the 6581 works at 12 volts, and this board obviously provides that for it. However, on the other C64C, 8580 SID uses 9 volts, and of course that provides 9. I don't know why they decided to change that. It just made a headache. So anyway, I'm gonna have to you know, alter this circuit and everything to fit in that, but I'll do that in a future video. So in the installation of the SIDFX, there is literally no need to solder or take your soldering iron out at all, but I'm gonna have to take it out now to remove my mod here. So that's the only time I'm ever gonna be using it. You know, this is really weird. I never thought ever that I'd be removing this mod that I did. I mean, I'm just like, you know, transporting it to another one, but still. Take this board out, sorry, and it's removed. Following the instructions, I just remove the SID if I don't have a chip holder by not leaving it up like this, but actually twisting it, which removes it nicely. The other end, and then you just twist it so you don't get any bent pins or anything like this. And that's actually a really nice way of removing it. Now this I will put away, ready for the next Commodore 64 next time. So now that that's done, there's no need for the soldering iron, so I'll turn that off. So what you gotta do here is just very gently push the surrounding capacitors down so they don't get in the way of the board. And yeah, that should be fine. And you can see the notch at the top. You just notch the notches. Now as you can see here, the number 1, so this is SID 1, and number 2 there, SID 2. Now, if you're gonna do a stereo SID like, you know, each of the SIDs, installing one of each, it's best just to install 6581 as the SID 1, and the 8588 is the SID 2. So I'm gonna do that now. So make sure the notch is here, the notch is at the top here. Because we have the 6581 installed here. And on the SID 2, the 8580. Again, matching the notches, making sure the notches are up, facing up on the board. It's fantastic. I'll never need to remove them. Hopefully not. Now you don't strictly have to, but I highly recommend that you know, add heat sinks onto the SIDs because they do heat up and you will extend their lifespan. Now that we've done this, let's put this aside and connect the cables. So the first we're going to need is this blue and green one here. So let's unravel this. Now as you can see here, there are little hooks. If you press them, they will hook onto legs, as in it'll grab onto the IC legs, all 3 of them. So you need to put these on specific ICs and specific legs. Okay, so we're looking for the MsMadLemon, which is here. So the blue grabber needs to be on pin 12. So how you count on the ICs is you can see this notch here. Now this is pin 1, so you count on pin 1, 2, 3, you know, all the way up here, and then it's like continues up along there. So 2, 4. So this is number 12. I'm obviously going to check it again because I'm pedantic that way, and it's good to be because you don't want it to be on the wrong one. Alright, so the grabbers have grabbed onto the legs. That's fine, that's all we need. And the green one next, which is at pin 15, so the one we are at is 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're here. There we go. So it's 15, and the yellow one actually needs to go on pin 7 on the cartridge port. and I'm figuring that is for the Messiah mod to access that particular address. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the very one which I soldered. So let's do that. The grabber. There we go. That's just fine. I mean, I do feel a touch flimsy, but this should be okay. Now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is just put the heatsink back on here. I tend to just heatsink as many, I mean I had these heatsinks spare. I tend to just heatsink as many ICs as I can, as the ones that get warm. Just extend the life of the C64. So these three grabbers over here, they basically just attach to the address lines, and they need to be connected to the bus port of the SIDFX. As you can see written here, there's like a label on each of these, and this one is the bus. Now this port here is the audio output, and this is switch number 1, switch number 2. So these are the mod switches. That one we need to connect next. So this port here is the manual SID selection. So let's switch SID. And this one is choosing between the user configured profiles that you can create in the app, which is fantastic. I'm gonna go through that later on. So what we need to do here, making sure the notches are up, because the notch on the board is at the top as well. Just install very carefully the SIDFX, and we're done. Well, the hardware side of it anyway. That is so easy to put in. It just like popped in really nicely there. So that is switch 1, this is switch 2, and that is the audio out. These are the parts that we need to connect on the outer casing. And we're done. It's actually that easy. As I said, no soldering required. You just needed to clip on these grabbers, these little hooks, and that's it. Do you want to know why I'm quite lucky? Because one of these holes is actually perfect for the jack, the audio jack out. Right, so that is done, and that's nicely done, and it fit perfectly well. This one I have plans for in future already. I have another mod planned. All I need to do now is that's for one of the switches, and just need to do another hole here for the other switch. Right, so on the stepper drill here, that is the second one. I'll stop at the second one. That is just perfect, I think. So let's load the drill here. So let's just put this into the drill. Okay, the battery went away. Right, so good job I got a spare. Let's put that on charge. Fantastic. Right, okay. Let's put this in. So let's just line this up now. We don't want it to be wonky or anything like this. Okay, perfect. It's done. And it's aligned. Normally I freaking hate doing this because I'd end up doing it wonky or something like this. But I'm proud of this. Proud. Look at it. That means it's straight. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to unplug these first. Okay, let me just turn this around. I'm going to unplug these first, put them in, as in install them into the case, and then plug them back in again. Just like I did with the audio. So I can, work with it without disturbing any of this, delicate and sensitive components and circuitry here. So let's just put the switches in. Back, as you can see, it's all nice. What I need to do is just connect everything up. Okay, so the audio out is this end one over here. Now let's decide which to make switch 1 and which to make switch 2. I think I will just do them in order of how it is here. So let's just connect that in here. Everything is in properly. Wire's not tangled or anything like this. Yeah, everything is installed properly, and it's actually pretty easy, I have to say. And it's good, and we close it up, and it fits perfect. You can see here, it's all nice. 3.5mm jacket, and yes, that's irritating me, but there is a plan for that. So I'm gonna get that done soon because it's bugging me, the fact there's a freaking hole in there that's like not doing anything. I don't know, stuff like this just irritates me. I want it to be perfect. So yeah, that'll be soon. But yeah, for now, let's go to the retro corner and we will connect all this up and I will show you around. So now we're over at the retro corner where we're gonna configure the SIDFX itself, and you can download the program, the actual configuration program, from the website, and I have already done and put it in my USB, which I'll put in my Ultimate 2, and then access this, and that's the config file. We can just load it, run it, so forth. As you can see here, there are two switches. Switch 1, which is this, yeah, and switch 2, which is that. And if you look at the bottom right, you will see SW1, switch 1, and that just shows the state of switch 1. So that's center, left, and right. Okay, so it's like center, SID1, SID2. Now, here on the screen, you will notice switch 2. You can change the position of switch 2, and you can configure each profile, which is really good. So the profile for the right position of the switch, center, and also the left. Now, mono. So the terminology here, it took me a touch to kind of get my head around, because I've been calling the SID left and right pseudo stereo, or kind of like, you know, stereo SID. So this is a little different to what I've been calling it. So apparently that's dual mono. So mono is just basically just like one. I think you can change here the type of mono. Oops. Mono. Yeah, SID2 on this. Okay. So mono, you can do it automatic, which is strange. Or you can do it SID1 plus SID2, which is dual mono, which I call pseudo stereo. In other words, you have the 6581 and the in this ear, 8580 in this ear, and you know, so forth. And then, I mean, it's kind of pseudo stereo, but never mind. It's just difference in terminology. So okay, so you can have that. You can have SID1 only, so 6581 coming through both ears, and you can have SID2 only, which is 8580 coming through both ears. The center switch, I think I want to do SID1 plus SID2. Actually, this reminds me, what I'm going to do is take the stereo separation off, so that, you know, there's no mixing between the channels, so, you know, you can clearly hear. Let's configure the profile for left. The left, I want to choose stereo. Now stereo is, I think what it is doing is signing different addresses to each SID. Like SID1, normally it's D400. That's like the normal sound, SID sound that comes for games and so forth. But SID1 is 400, D400, SID2 is D420. You can adjust on the profiles the loudness. I think this, yeah, it says it's only applicable to 8580 SID. So you can, if the 8580 SID is too loud, you can make it, you know, quieter. There's a DigiBoost option, which again is only applicable to 8580. So you can choose the address D420, D500, or DE100, hexadecimal. Okay, right position the switch. Now if you wish to use your Messiah cartridge here, you need to set the address. Let's configure it to the right position of the switch, or the bottom. No, it's the top. Okay. We need to set that to stereo, and the address to DE100, which is here, because that's the Messiah cartridge port address. I mean, you can basically set the profiles exactly how you like, really, and you know, there's detailed instructions on the website which you can download. Actually, this thing has been documented. The SIDFX has been documented very well. I'm very impressed with that. So yeah, let's test now. Let's see everything is good. Now, one thing to note here, the input is, I mean, there's a SID input. If it's not muted, it tends to have an extra noise in the background. And if you mute it, it's kind of clear. It sounds clearer. You will have noticed in my SID mod there was quite a bit of background noise, and I think it's because of this. So this kind of eliminates that, which is fantastic. Okay, so Shift F8. Let's save that. Now, one thing great about the Ultimate is that you can just, you know, go into here and go into your SIDs. And I think if you enter the SID, and of course I'm gonna test it with Wigland or Fairlight's cheese track. You know, I always use this SID because I can tell the difference clearly between left and right. I just know this very well, and I love the tune, so I'm gonna be forever using this tune to test it. Yeah. You can hear the 8580 and the 6581. Now let's, you know, from my mixing board. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's 6581. That's 8580. Now what you can do on here is if you switch switch 1 down, it's just playing 6581 on both speakers, yeah? Now if you push the switch up, it's playing 8580 on both speakers. So it's like mono 8580, mono 6581, and in the center it's pseudo stereo, as in, you know, one in each. I'm gonna call it pseudo stereo, I don't care. It's one in each channel. And I think that's my favorite, so I'm gonna keep that. So yeah, this is what can be done with the SIDFX. And as you can see, there are, you know, quite a few options. You can, you know, set your own custom profiles on each flick of the switch, which I think is actually quite fantastic. And yeah, you can have different combinations of stereo, mono, you know, so forth. I still call that pseudo stereo because it feels like stereo. Anyway, yeah, so that is the SIDFX, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for your likes, your shares. Do leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos and to subscribe for more, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Now I wish to say a big thank you to my patrons for their support, and you know, it means a lot. I never thought that I was gonna, you know, end up being like a channel like this with, you know, patron supporters and people who like what I do. And, you know, every time someone comments, you know, that they really love my videos, that my videos are soothing, and, you know, they help them relax and stuff, and, you know, they put a smile to their faces and make them feel nostalgic. It warms my heart that I'm actually making a lot of you feel like this, and, you know, it means a lot. And the support, the patron support, the support for my projects and my channel, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much, really, thank you so much. And yeah, if you wish to see the links to my patrons' websites or YouTube channels, the links are in the description below. So yeah, for now I will say adios.